SAPSD Item Category Controls, the Expert's Guide. 1. Introduction, the heart of the line item. In SAP Sales and Distribution, SD, the item category is arguably the most critical control parameter for the operational behavior of a material within a sales document. While the sales document type controls the header, the legal envelope, the item category controls the contents. For a functional consultant, mastering item category controls means you can manipulate how the system handles pricing, billing, delivery, and inventory for any specific line item without needing ABAP development. Transaction code VOV7 define item categories. Table TVAP item categories. 2. The logic of determination. Before analyzing the controls, a hands-on expert must memorize how the system finds these controls. If the system picks the wrong item category, all your VOV7 configurations are useless. The system determines the item category based on a 4-key combination, T-code, VOV4. 1. Sales document type. Example: ORQTRE. 2. Item category group, found in the material master, sales org. 2. View. Example: norm, DIN, bands. 3. Item usage. Optional, hard-coded programmatic indicators. Example: free for free goods, text for text items. 4. Higher level item category. Optional, used for bill of materials, BOM, explosion or sub-items. Greater than expert note: if you are debugging why a specific control, like pricing, isn't triggering, first check the Sales Document Item tab in the sales order to verify which item category was actually determined. 3. Comprehensive breakdown of VOV7 controls. The VOV7 screen is divided into several logical blocks. We will dissect every field, focusing on back-end logic and business implications. A. Business Data section. This section controls the financial and commercial integration of the item. 1. Item type. Function. Classifies the item. Example: A for value, B for text. Expert insight. Generally left blank for standard items. However, for text items, TATX. This is set to B. This helps the system distinguish between a commercial product and a mere comment line, preventing the text line from triggering unnecessary incompletion logs. 2. Completion rule. Function. Determines when an item is considered completed in the reference document. Key values. Blank. Not relevant for completion standard orders. A. Item is completed with the first reference. B. Item is completed after full quantity is referenced. C. Item is completed after target QTY is fully referenced. Scenario, in a quotation, QT. You use B. If a customer orders 5 out of 10 quoted items, the quote remains open for the remaining 5. If you used A, the quote would close immediately after the first partial order. 3. Special stock indicator. Function. Tells the system to treat this inventory as special stock. Example: consignment, returnable packaging. Key values. W. Consignment, fill up or pick up. E. Orders on hand, make to order. Expert insight. Do not manually change this for standard items TAN. This is crucial for consignment fill up KB, which uses W. If you miss this, the system will try to post goods issue from unrestricted stock rather than customer consignment stock. 4. Billing relevance. Function. The most critical field for the order-to-cash O2C cycle. It dictates if and how an item is billed. Deep dive on values. A. Delivery-related. Standard for stock items. TAN. Billing is generated only after PGI. B. Order-related. Standard for services, TAD, or returns, REN. Billing is based on the sales order quantity. C. Order-related with status. Used for third-party scenarios, TAS, depending on copy control. F. Order-related status according to invoice QTY. Critical for third-party, TAS. The customer is billed only after the vendor sends the invoice to you, Miro. G. Order-related billing of delivery, QTY. You bill based on the order, but the quantity is capped at what was delivered. H. Delivery-related, no zero quantities. Avoids printing invoices for items with zero delivered quantity. I. Order-related, billing plan. Essential for rental contracts or maintenance service contracts utilizing periodic billing plans. K. Delivery-related, partial quantity. Used in BOMs, bill of materials, where you bill the main item and sub-items proportionally. Consultant tip. If a client complains that service items are not appearing on the billing due list, VF04, check if billing relevance is set to A. Since services aren't delivered or PGID, A will block billing forever. Change to B. 5. Billing plan type. Function. Assigns a default billing plan, periodic or milestone, to the item. Scenario. For high-value project systems, PS, integration, you assign a milestone billing plan here, so the billing schedule matches the project phases. 6. Billing block. Function. Automatically sets a billing block at the line item level upon entry. Scenario. Used in credit memo requests. G2N. You want a manager to approve the credit before the credit memo is generated. Setting a default block here forces a manual removal. Approval. Step. 7. Pricing. Function. Determines if pricing is active and how it affects the total document value. Key values. X. Standard pricing. Active. A. Pricing for rarely used. B. Pricing for free goods. 100% discount automatically applied. Expert insight. For free of charge items. TANN. This is set to B. If you leave it X, the system will try to price it normally. If you leave it blank, no pricing conditions will trigger, which might be wrong if you need to track costs or taxes for internal reporting, even if the customer pays 0. 8. Statistical value. Function controls whether the value of the item is added to the total value of the order. Key values. Blank. Active. Value is added. X. Statistical. Value is calculated but not added to header total. Y. Statistical. No value calculation. Scenario. In a BOM where pricing is at the header level, ERLA. The sub-items are statistical, X. The sub-items might have a price for internal cost tracking, but the customer pays the header price. 9. Revenue recognition. Function. Categories for revenue recognition. Example. Time-based. Event-based. Expert insight. Crucial for VF44. Revenue recognition. If you are doing service-based RevRec, recognizing revenue over the duration of a contract. This category drives the posting logic. 10. Delimit. Start date. Function. Used in contracts to determine the start date logic for validity periods. B. General control section. This section manages physical behaviors and links to other modules. 1. Automatic batch determination. Function. If checked, SAP triggers the batch search strategy automatically when the material is entered. Scenario. Essential for industries like pharmaceuticals or chemicals. FEFO. First expiry, first out. If unchecked, the user must manually trigger batch determination. Rounding permitted. Function allows the system to round quantities based on the customer material info record or material master rounding profiles. Scenario. You sell beer. The unit is bottle, but you only ship in crates of 24. If the user orders 25, checking this box allows the system to round up to 48, 2 crates, automatically. 3. Order quantity equals 1. Function restricts the line item quantity to exactly 1. Scenario. Used for serialized items or specific service configurations where multiples are physically impossible or not allowed. C. Transaction flow section. This is the workflow control of the item category. 1. Incompletion procedure. Function. Defines which fields are mandatory for this item. Expert insight. Never use the standard procedure blindly. If you create a new item category for a specific business process, example, ZEXP for express orders, create a specific incompletion procedure. Impact. If a field defined in this procedure is missing, the document cannot be saved or processed further depending on settings. 2. Partner determination procedure. Function dictates which partners, sold to, shipped to, forwarding agent, are allowed or mandatory at the item level. Scenario, usually partners are at the header. However, if you have a dropship scenario where different line items in one order go to different ship-to parties, you must assign a partner determination procedure here that allows ship-to modification at the item level. 3. Text determination procedure. Function controls which text types, material sales text, shipping instructions, are copied or available for the item. 4. Item category statistics group. Function feeds data to LIS, Logistics Information System, and SIS, Sales Information System. Expert insight. If your BW or BI reports are missing data for a new item category, it is likely because this field is set to blank, no update. Set it to 1, order or debit, or 2, returns, to ensure data flows to analytics. 5. Screen sequence group. Function controls the layout of the tabs at the item data level in the sales order. Expert insight. This is a UI control. N. Standard item. D. Service item. If you use D for a standard stocked product, the shipping tab might disappear or be hidden, causing confusion. Always match this to the business nature of the item. D. Bill of material or configuration section. This section is vital for variant configuration, VC, and BOM handling. 1. Config. Strategy or VAR. Configuration. Function links the item to KMAT, configurable material, logic. It determines how the configuration dialog characteristic screen appears. 2. Structure scope. Function controls the explosion of the BOM. Key values. Blank. Do not explode. A. Explode single level. B. Explode multi-level. Scenario. If you sell a PC set, monitor plus CPU plus mouse, and you want the warehouse to pick the components, you must set this to A or B. If left blank, SAP treats the PC set as a single pre-assembled box. 3. Application. Function determines the application used for BOM explosion, example, SD01 for sales, PP01 for production. This dictates which alternative BOM is selected. E. Value contract section. Only relevant for value contract item categories. Example. WKN. 1. Value contract material. Function limits the release items to a specific assortment module. This prevents customers from releasing materials against a contract that weren't agreed upon. F. Service management section. For CS, customer service integration. 1. Repair procedure. Function links the item to the RAS repair and service process. Scenario. Used in returns for repair, RAS order. It triggers the automatic creation of a service order in the background when the main sales item is entered. G. Control of resource-related billing. Used for DIP profiles, dynamic item processor. 1. DIP profile. Function configures how costs, labor hours, travel expenses, collected in a service order or project are converted into sales order line items for billing. Scenario. Professional services. A consultant logs 8 hours on a project. The DIP profile on the item category, in the debit memo request, reads those hours and converts them into a billable line item, consulting senior, 8 hours. 4. Master table. Key item category controls. An expert must know the standard categories by heart to use them as templates for custom Z categories. Item cat description billing rel. Pricing shed. Line allowed credit active cost determine completion rule. TAN standard item A, del rel, X, STD, yes, yes, yes. TA yes. Third party F, invoice. X, STD, yes, yes, yes. TAD service B, ordrel, X, STD, no, yes, no, chari drof. TATX, text item na man of dollars. Tide red. Tan Snow No No. Tan free of charge. A. Del Rel. B. Free. Yes No Yes Da. Ren returns. B. Ord Rel. X. STD. Yes Yes Yes. No No. G2N. Credit memo. B. Ord Rel. X. STD. No Yes No. Perdre Da. AGN STD quotation. X. STD. Yes No Yes B. WKN value contract I. Plan. X. STD. No Yes E5. Expert deep dive. The big three controls. Among all the fields in VOV7, 3 checkboxes or fields dictate 90% of the functional behavior. Understanding the interaction between these is what separates a junior from a senior consultant. 1. Schedule line allowed, the gateway to logistics. The checkbox, schedule line allowed. The logic: if this is unchecked, the item cannot have schedule lines. The consequence: no schedule lines equals no delivery. No delivery equals no picking or packing or PGI. This is why services, TAD, and credit memos, G2N, have this unchecked. They are purely financial or commercial entries. Expert scenario. If you are creating a non-stock material category, tax, that needs to be shipped, you must check this box. Even if you don't track inventory quantity, you need a delivery note to put the box on the truck. 2. Credit active, the risk manager. The checkbox, credit active. The logic determines if the value of this line item updates the credit exposure of the customer. The consequence: standard, TAN. Checked. High risk. Returns. REN. Checked. Negative value reduces exposure. Free goods, TANN. Unchecked. No risk involved. Expert scenario. A client wants to sell warranty as a line item. It costs $500. Should credit active be checked? Yes. Even though it's a service. If the customer doesn't pay, you have credit risk. Many consultants forget to check this for service items, creating a loophole in credit management. 3. Determine cost, the margin watcher. The checkbox, determine cost. The logic triggers the system to look up the VPRS, cost condition type, in the pricing procedure. The consequence: if checked, SAP looks at the material master accounting view to pull the moving average or standard price. This allows for margin calculation. Price, cost equals margin. Expert scenario, TANN, free goods. Check this. Even though you give it for free, price equals 0. The item costs you money to manufacture. If you uncheck this, your profitability analysis, Colorado PA, will show $0 cost and $0 revenue, hiding the actual loss incurred by the marketing campaign. 6. Critical integrations, how VOV7 talks to other areas. A. Interaction with copy controls, VTAA, VTLA, VTFL. The item category in the source document dictates the copy control rules. Example: when copying quote to order, the copy control is set up at the item category level. Example: AGN to TAN. Constraint: you cannot simply swap item categories in copy control if the VOV7 settings contradict. For example, you cannot copy a text item, no schedule lines, into a standard item, requires schedule lines, without massive errors. B. Interaction with schedule line category, VOV6. This is a parent-child relationship. VOV7, item cat. Says I am allowed to have schedule lines. VOV5, determination. Says if item cat is TAN and MRP type is PD, use schedule line CP. VOV6, shedline cat. Says I am relevant for MRP and movement type 601. Note: the movement type, which drives inventory GL posting, is an at in the item category. It is in the schedule line category. C. Interaction with incompletion logs. The incompletion procedure assigned in VOV7 is the gatekeeper. If you set an item as billing relevance, A. Delivery related, you must ensure the incompletion log checks for shipping point and weight or volume. If you set an item as billing relevance, B. Order related, Checking for shipping point in the incompletion log will block the order unnecessarily because services don't need shipping points. 7. Troubleshooting and pro tips for the consultant. Scenario 1. The grayed out field. Issue: you are in a sales order and you cannot change the price or quantity of a line item. Root cause in VOV7. 1. Check billing relevance. 2. Check if it is a sub-item of a BOM. In VOV7, under Bill of Material, if the higher level item controls the sub-items might be locked. 3. Check credit active. Sometimes credit blocks freeze fields. Scenario 2. The missing cost, VPRS. Issue: user creates an order, but the VPRS condition is missing or 0, affecting margin reports. Root cause in VOV7. 1. Is determine cost checked? 2. Is the item category configured as a value item, type A, or text item, type B? Text items never determine cost. Scenario 3. Third-party process failures, TAS. Issue: the purchase requisition, PR, is not generated automatically. Root cause in VOV7. 1. Check schedule line allowed. Must be checked. 2. Actually in VOV6, but related. The item category TAS must point to a schedule line category, CS, that has purchase requisition delivery schedule active. Scenario 4. BOM explosion not happening. Issue: user enters a computer set, but the components don't appear. Root cause in VOV7. 1. Check structure scope. Is it set to A or B2? Check the main item category, example, LUMF or ERLA. 3. Ensure the sub-items, components, have a valid item category group in their material masters, sales org 2, that allows them to be determined as sub-items. 8. Summary of configuration steps for a custom item category. Z. When a client asks for a special non-stock sample that we track for value but don't bill, do not hack an existing category. Follow this flow. 1. Copy, don't create, go to VOV7. Select a standard category closest to your requirement, example, TANN. Click Copy As and name it ZNN. 2. Modify business data, billing relevance, blank, not relevant for billing. Pricing, X, if you want to see value, or blank, if purely internal. Statistical value, X, so it doesn't mess up the order total. 3. Modify general control, schedule line allowed, yes, if you need to ship it. Credit active, no, it's a sample. 4. Assign, VOV4. Map your sales doc type plus item cat group, example. Norm plus usage, example. Sample, to ZIN. 5. Test, create an order. Verify pricing, shipping tab, and billing status. Mastering VOV7 is about understanding the ripple effect. One checkbox can stop a truck at the gate or halt an invoice worth millions. Always test your controls in a sandbox environment across the entire flow, order, delivery, billing, accounting, before moving to production.